What's going on, world? We are back. The KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast. I'm Kuya P, and we are back to being the living legends. FTR is in the house. Webster Style and your boy Kuya P. How are you, Webster Style?
I'm good, my brother. How about yourself?
I am well, man. But before we get started, again, shout out to when we're the House of Black, Sean Mongold. He is celebrating his birthday right now, and so our love to him on his birthday. We'll see him when he gets back, fresh from all the things he's got going on. But right now you got the living legends, and the legends are coming off of a weekend of Labor Day.
There's been a lot of wrestling the past.
A lot of wrestling happened, and I wasn't even able to catch all of it. I know, or at all. I was dealing with some other issues and family things, so I'm playing catch up. And so I know Webster's Style caught a little bit of it, man. But you also had your lovely anniversary, so I want to give you a shout out in that regard. Happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife.
Thank you.
Want to celebrate and give you love on that, man. And let's talk. Wrestling, what happened since the last show, and y'all know they became, in my absence, Webster Style and Sean. Shit, I forgot who you became, and I did edit the episode.
DTL defining the lifestyle.
Defining the lifestyle. I like that too. So yeah, y'all got your own tag team, but we've got our tag team, and our tag team are the living legends, Webster Style.
Right.
I think we're a little bit better than. Anyway, I'm claiming it because you're with me on this one. So. Biggest news since the last time we got together, man. AEW All In, but then now, as of this weekend, we had All Out and Payback. But the dominating news, Punk being a Punk, I guess. I don't know. It depends on whose side you're on. I've heard and seen on both sides. I don't know. I'm kind of going both ways, but the constant is Punk, though, man. What do you think?
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where I don't envy Tony Khan, at all. I don't envy the position he was put into. Regardless of what actually happened, the common denominator was Punk. And at the end of the day, what's more important, one man or your company?
Real talk.
And that's really what it came down to. And Punk had to go. I'll put it this way. I don't know everything that happened, but I don't feel sorry for him either.
I have to say the same.
Yeah, you can't be an asshole and expect things to be okay just because you're a draw. Like there is a certain point in time where it doesn't matter how much you draw, you causing chaos to a fairly young company is not cool. Just think about it. We never heard anything like this going on backstage with AEW until CM Punk came. And again, I'm not saying he was the instigator, but there was certainly something about his presence that precipitated these sort of issues to start happening within the last year and a half, 2 years. So the common denominator was him. I don't envy Tony Khan at all. I mean, CM Punk was a draw. People wanted to see what he did, and I get it. But at the end of the day, it was either AEW going forward or staying with CM Punk. And AEW going forward is more important to me.
Yeah.
And if I was running the business, one monkey don't stop no show. And if we were doing all right before you, and we'll be doing all right after you.
Yeah. And I feel a lot of what we know is only because of the dirt sheets and hearsay. So it's kind of hard, to judge. And then, but he is the common denominator with all of it. And even though I got to, thinking about the incidents, or at least the two that I'm aware of, currently the Young Bucks were acting up, and the first time, right?
Right. And
then he wasn't tolerating it or whatever, and it went overboard, I guess. And now with this one, I saw a thing with Bully Ray commenting, of 3D, about him feeling, how old school ways the elders kind of took care of these youngins, but also, old ways aren't also the right ways. So, this was an issue about safety, apparently, with Jack Perry and then the glass and everything. Right. So I can understand, him being the elder statesman. Punk, it's not a good thing. We got to look out for each other, take care of each other. But I don't know, just the way this turned out wasn't cool. And I just all around, though, he's been like the denominator thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The other cats are also, it's all about safety.
Yeah.
But just with what happened, I don't know, man. Like, I'm conflicted, but like we said, he's like the common denominator, and just seems like there's a lot of weird vocalized things that aren't appreciated all the way around.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more to the story. Like, even when I've saw some reporting, the whole glass thing with Jack Perry maybe isn't exactly as truthful as the way it's been reported. But when Tony Khan came out or even a statement where the investigation came back from the legal teams, and there was a unanimous recommendation to end Punk's contract. If that's true, there's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot more than what has been disclosed to the public.
Yeah,
because that is serious. If two independent investigations, I think it's two independent investigations, both come back with the same conclusion and the same recommendation, and not to fire anybody else, but to fire him.
Yeah. Says a lot.
Yeah. It's again, that's if it was truthful. This is the bad things about wrestling. I don't know what to believe when they're trying to be honest, because you don't know what's a work or what's a spin to try to make things look a certain way. It is wrestling. Yeah. It's not like, we're watching, I can't even say watching the news, but you know what I mean? It's not like we're watching something where we are informed with the facts and these things happen. Like, okay, boxing, for instance. Boxing, for the most part, you feel like, okay, somebody get their brains knocked out. You see them get their brains knocked out. There's no going around that. And any sort of information that comes out as a result of that, you tend to believe it, because this sport unto itself is about reality and believability. Wrestling's all about the story, all about the art. So it's hard to necessarily believe something when they are positioning themselves that this is legitimate information that is coming out. So that's why I say, if it is legit, if this is what happened, if this is what the investigations found, and this is a unanimous decision, in my personal opinion, there has to be more than what we've been told.
Agreed.
Because that sounds like that's an extreme decision to make unanimously with someone who is a very big draw for your company. Like, that's business, and they thought it was best for business to get rid of him. That says a whole lot. And who knows how much influence Warner Brothers had on them on that decision as well.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where this is going to develop from here. And that's actually kind of like the biggest thing that I wanted to, again, I didn't watch anything over the weekend. I had, even though there's so much wrestling, I didn't see any of it. So I'm looking forward to catching up, and we'll talk more on that. But I guess the biggest question I have, and what I was curious to talk with you guys when we do the show now, and doing the show right now with you, what do you think is going to happen to CM Punk? Obviously now gone from AEW. Do you think he'd actually go to WWE or Impact or anything else? What do you think is next?
First of all, he's not going to nowhere else except WWE is paying him any kind of money. And WWE doesn't need him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the WWE does not.
But do you think they'd pay him the money just because they want to be king shit? No. We know Vince McMahon. Wouldn't that be like a feather in the cap to be like, hey, one of the biggest guys that you got now is with us. We got Cody, now we got Punk.
No, because they had him. Look, Cody was a bigger get because he made his name by doing AEW. Cody became a star when he left WWE. Punk became a star in WWE. Look, I know he has his Ring of Honor accolades and not so much impact, but he became a star with WWE. It's not, I don't think it's the same. Like, they've been there, done there with Punk, in my opinion. I don't think, especially with the talent they have and the programs they're running right now. Hell, they have Carlito signed and don't have anything for him to do, no creative. So bringing Punk in is not. It doesn't make smart. It doesn't sound good for business. Like, why are you going to sign him as big name and just shoehorn him in? Like, when you already have all these storylines going, you haven't been signing people. One, because of the merger, and two, you're doing things storyline wise. Like you have a system going on now, and fortunately with WWE, nobody's really gotten injured to make major plans lately. For the most part. Why it doesn't do them any good? They already at the top. AEW needed CM Punk. WWE doesn't need him. And especially with the merger with Endeavor, it's not like UFC is very high on him either.
Yeah, exactly. So is this the last we've seen of the Punk? Is he going to fade off into memory now? So your predictions are this is it for him for a while?
It's hard to say, but I would say yes. This is realistically, this would have been his last run, his real run. He looks old. And again, I know I'm not saying to be mean because I don't know if Punk's older than me or younger than me, but he looks older. He looks worn. He looks tired. And I don't mean it like his wrestling is tired, but even him coming back this past year, in my opinion, when I look at him, he looks like this is his last go round in the square circle.
Yeah. I agree to that, but I don't know if I can't say that this is his last matches or these were the last matches we've seen now. But it's going to be curious where he will go now, and I don't know if I kind of feel the WWE, will sign him just because, just knowing Vince and just trying to be the king shit. But like you said, WWE doesn't need him. And I don't know, even Tony let him back the last time though, in a way. So
yeah, he did.
Is it fully closed even with this match, or will we wait a year even if he, 6
I was
months
thinking that,
to let him come
waiting
back?
a year or so, maybe some reconciliation. I don't put that out of the.
I just don't feel we've seen the last match.
This is my thing with this situation. If I had a company, and I just checked it out, Punk is like our age. Punk is 44 right now. He'd be 45 next month. So like he and I are a couple months apart. Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing what he does in the ring at my age. So I'll say that. Right. But if I'm running a wrestling promotion, and I'm seeing what people are saying, and I'm even having any understanding of what he's done, that's a hard balancing. Like, I want to bring him in because of name recognition, but then I'm thinking, do I want to bring him in because of how he is in the locker room? Like, do I want to poison my locker room, especially if I have a lot of up-and-comers with that? So, but there are a lot of questions there, and then we don't know what it's really like. I hate to say it like that. We don't know what it's really like in AEW's locker room. We don't know if it's this quote unquote toxic environment and Punk just fed into it. I have no idea what any of these places are like, but apparently they didn't mesh, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
And Perry's still suspended indefinitely. So take that for what you will, but nobody else is recommended to be fired.
All right. Well, let's move on from Punk. Let's not give him any more love right now until we hear more, because it's really all speculation. But we had some pay-per-views over the weekend, some big news coming out of that. Like I said, I didn't see any of it, but I guess I'm going to framework what I kind of, saw, what I'm most interested in. So I'll do Payback website style. Okay. You'll go through All Out. I'm just going to quickly run through the card and the winners for those, and just, throw out what I'm really interested in seeing out of everything that came out. Because again, I want to catch up. I want to check in. So real quick, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus were in a steel cage match with Becky defeating Trish. We had LA Knight against The Miz, with LA Knight being the victor. Rey Mysterio against Austin Theory. Rey continues to hold the United States Championship in that match. We had a Steel City Street Fight with the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest against KO and Sami Zayn, with the Judgment Day now being our new champs, undisputed. In that, pretty cool for the Judgment Day fans out there. Mm-hmm. Rhea Ripley went against Raquel Rodriguez, with Rhea maintaining her Women's World Championship, and we had Seth freaking Rollins defeating Shinsuke Nakamura to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Looking at that card, this kind of popped out of nowhere for me. I don't know about you, Eldon. I did not realize Payback was happening so soon. But looking at this, hearing some of the dirt sheets, I'm really excited to see the Becky Lynch Trish Stratus match. I heard that was really good. You know,
I heard
we
that
all
as well.
were like Trish staying in after, I forgot what event it was, that Trish, we thought it was a one-off, right? But Trish
SummerSlam, I think it was.
She actually had a storyline.
Was it SummerSlam?
To culminate in this was kind of cool. And as you mentioned, we had she was with our girl for a little bit, Trish and
Zoe Stark, and Zoe turned on her after she lost the match.
So I'm of a lot of these matches, that's the biggest one I'm really excited to finally watch. LA versus Miz. I don't know. I'm kind of so on that one. I know you're really up on LA Knight. I'm kind of blasé.
Yeah, understood.
Ray and Austin Theory. Glad to see Ray maintain. I just think Austin's a dick, but that's what his character is. He's a perfect heel right now. So good to see Ray maintaining that. Judgment Day against KO and Sami Zayn. Kind of want to see that one. That one, because I thought they were going to let him hold for a while, but I like that Judgment Day is winning. I want to see the progression of that storyline, so I'm excited to see that, where that's going to go from here. Obviously, Mommy was going to be Raquel. Come on, I'm not a fan of Raquel either, but Mommy took the title. I'm curious how that went in a way. Because I'm curious if they're trying to build up Raquel, but I think Mommy needs to hold on to the belt. And then Seth versus Shinsuke. I heard Shinsuke went after him after the fact, and they're still going to continue on with that storyline, because I did see a little bit of Raw post Payback. So, right. But the biggest match I'm most excited about is Becky and Trish.
Jimmy came back.
And yes, that's actually what I wanted to lead into. Yeah, so out of this whole weekend in Payback, Jay came back.
Yeah, Jay came
back. Main
back.
event, Jay Uso. That is the biggest thing that
I'm excited
I was ready
about
to talk to y'all about after watching Raw. He's got his own music, but the fact that he can't. I'm sorry, I've been blabbing, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I know you're chiming in there.
No,
I was losing about main event Uso.
Yeah, I'm happy about that, because I know we've talked about where they're going to go with this, and I like this. I like it, one, because main event guys on Raw, who you really have. I mean, you got Shinsuke, Seth, Cody, maybe KO and Sammy if they break up as a tag team. Nobody else comes to mind. I mean, and then you got everybody in that sort of mid card with the way Gunther has a stranglehold on Intercontinental title. There are no real upper main event people that look. Nobody jumps out to me on Raw. Just thinking off the top of my head, main event Jey Uso. Why not? Why not put him in contention with that? And it's funny, and I missed it, but I read it when Cody introduced him and said he made some. I forget what he said. He's like, he made some calls and made some moves and brought him in. And Michael Cole's line was, he did used to be an EVP. He talked about Cody. I was like, oh, like, that's hilarious. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I don't know how fresh this makes the Bloodline storyline, considering I guess technically it's not Bloodline since he's not in the Bloodline anymore. But I'm excited to see. Let me put it this way. This is one of the few times I feel like they split up a tag team correctly.
Yes. And hopefully the push. Jay's got we know he's super talented, and he's gotten the Bloodline story showed he can be good on the mic if you just let the man flow. And biggest thing also that we got with that announcement and Raw, we got him and Sammy. What did you see, Raw?
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that part.
To give us that moment too, coming
Yeah.
off of that. Thoughts on that, dude. I was like, that's icing on the cake right there.
Yeah, that was icing.
We launched him, and then we're gonna like bring it back a little bit to remind you about Bloodline and that connection between Sammy and Jay, and that was perfect, bro.
Yeah,
and
it was.
But weren't you like for like 1 second? Are they gonna turn it? Is he gonna flip it real quick? But no, they kept it buddy, and I love that.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this though about the Shinsuke and Seth. I am, we've talked about those prolonged feuds because they've had people kind of feud for championships and that to be it. We kind of talked about the whole Finn thing, and it just ran long in the tooth. Because honestly, it kept dogging Finn out, and I think that was part of the issue. Like they kept dogging him out. I think we all collectively were tired of that. It was no real push to him going against Seth. It was like, okay, we 7 years, I'm angry, yada yada yada. And not saying they're gonna put on good matches, but storyline wise, it's like, okay, you're saying the same thing you did the first time y'all like the match to pay-per-view before. But with Shinsuke, it's fresh because there are continued motivations for that. And I'm feeling Shinsuke as a heel in this regard as well. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing him with that title.
Same.
I think that would be really refreshing to have him with that world championship. I also think of it this way, and I'm looking at it back with when they had the original world championship that came over from WCW, where it was like slightly lower than the main title, but quote unquote on equal footing. They were not afraid to put guys who you wouldn't necessarily see with the main title to put that world championship belt on them, world heavyweight championship. And Shinsuke is one of those guys. Like I forget, did he feud against AJ for the world title? I don't remember exactly, either the world or WWE, one of the two. I forget which one it was, but I feel like he feuded with him for that, but lost. But this is a perfect title to put on Shinsuke, in my opinion. This is one of those titles where I don't feel like you need long title reigns.
Yeah, same. It could go. I'd like to see it move around a little bit to throw shine on people, exactly. to benefit storyline.
Like we talked about back in the day. Those titles moved around with frequency, and they didn't diminish because they moved around like every 3, 4, 5 months at the most.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So before we head over to All Out, were there anything specific from Payback that you really wanted to see any of the matches? Or because I'm correct me if I'm wrong, did you catch Payback or
man? I was busy that day. That was the anniversary day. I wasn't watching the rest.
What are you most interested of matches? Becky and Trish, like me, or
Becky and Trish, just because I've seen the aftermath and hearing about that. But let me tell you, this is what I'm not disappointed at. I think it was the right decision to take the titles off of Sammy and Kevin.
Yeah,
I know Kevin was injured, but even before then, they weren't really doing anything with them. Honestly,
yeah. And I'm ready for them to break the belts up.
Yes.
When are we gonna do that now? Like they finally, with Roman, because now Seth is the champ. You know what I'm saying? Which again, this is where they fucked up writing wise. Like we said, they should have did it with Cody or something. Did some kind of separation of the belts at some point.
Right.
I'm only defending this specific belt. They totally flew the cuckoo's nest on that one.
Yeah.
But now we're still having the same problem, right? So, yeah. I think it's good for Judgment Day, and we wanting to see that storyline develop. But like, when the fuck are they also? That's what I'm ultimately waiting with this fucking belts, 2-belt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. They need to separate it. They kind of solved their problem with creating a world championship or heavyweight championship with the men's title, but they need to do something with the tags. Really, it needs to be broken up. Something needs to happen, like for real, because I'm tired of it being, especially since you have, is it the women's heavyweight championship now, and then the women's WWE championship? Like, you've changed the women's titles. So
exactly.
the tag titles are well overdue for a change as far as that's concerned. Merge the two titles, make them the world heavyweight tag championships, and then put the WWE new WWE championship tournament, tag championship tournament on SmackDown, and call it a day.
Let's go. Seriously, it's weird now because you did you did that with Roman. You don't treat the women the same. Like, what the fuck? It's aggravating.
Yeah, you got one women's. We ain't talking about the women's tag. That curse. But I'll say this. Speaking of the women's tag, and I'll get to this, and then we'll move over to All Out. This is one of the things I'm not a humongous fan of Raquel Rodriguez. I keep wanting to say Gonzalez, which is what she was in NXT. But I'm not a fan because they have never taken adequate time to really build her up.
Yeah.
And that is my issue. This should not have been the match we got.
Yeah.
Like they should have taken time to make Raquel into a serious competitor or a serious challenge for Rhea Ripley. And they have failed in that. Like,
agreed.
Seriously. She got the height, she got the strength. Like, she's saying toe to toe with Rhea. She doesn't look like she's getting dwarfed and pancaked in there. In the ring, they just did a horrible job with any sort of build-up, partially because Payback just seems so rushed. It felt like it came out of nowhere.
It did. Yeah.
After what, SummerSlam? Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, SummerSlam was that beginning of August or like middle of August?
I'm forgetting right now, but it just
it
was like an RKO out of nowhere for me, man.
Yeah.
Like, what? That happened this weekend? You're kidding me. Yeah.
Well, speaking of another thing that happened this weekend with like what, especially after they did All In the weekend before in London.
Yeah.
Let's run through the card real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
All Out. I'm going to start off with John Moxley defeating Orange Cassidy for that AEW International Championship. I always forget what the hell that's called for some reason. And then we had MJF and Adam Cole, our Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, defeating the Dark Order. That's Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Luchasaurus defeated Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. Chris Statlander defeated Ruby Soho for TBS. Samoa Joe, excuse me, defeated Shane Taylor for RH TV title. The Acclaim defeated Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal for the Trios Championship. Daniel Bryanson defeated Ricky Starks in a strap match, and then you had Bullet Club Gold defeating FTR and the Young Bucks. Blackpool Combat Club beats Eddie and Katsuyori Shibata. Takeshita defeated Kenny Omega. Miro defeated Powerhouse Hobbs. And then Hikaru Shida, Willow, and Sky Blue defeated Athena, Mercedes Martinez, and Diamante and Billy Sox was in that corner. But this is the thing. Okay, two things from this show. One, we got the debut of CJ Perry, aka Lana, in AEW, and they are already doing the sort of marital strife angle, what have you, with that. So I was like, oh, okay. But for me, the biggest thing was they finally took that title off of Orange Cassidy. I have utmost respect for Orange Cassidy and how he's evolved since he came in and really, he was a joke. Let me be honest. He came off as a joke wrestler.
Yeah.
He has put in the work. He has garnered the fans' love. He is over. He is so over. But for me, and maybe it's the way the booking is gone. Yes, he's competed all the time defending the international championship. I don't feel like his run elevated it. Maybe it created a good foundation because what, Pac was champion before him. Where's Pac, by the way? But Pac was champion before him, if I remember correctly. And then he beat Pac. So I think they've only been two champions. I may be incorrect in that one. Excuse me. But putting the title on Moxley just straps a rocket to that title as far as visibility and credibility.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that title needs, especially with the world title, which we're seeing some of that, what I'm about to say, go away, with what happened between MJF and Joe. The world title is getting lost in the bromance with MJF and Adam Cole, which I love. I love the storyline. Don't get me wrong. But the prominence of that storyline isn't the title, per se, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and especially with them now holding the RA's title, I feel like it's, it's just one other piece of the puzzle and it's not the main focus. And the one thing with the international title, I'm equating this international title much like to Gunther in that in the Continental title. Like that's the workhorse title. And while Cassidy did a good job of laying a foundation for that title, I think Moxley, especially in the intensity he has and the opponents and name recognition that he brings, that there's a different stratosphere that the title can go to, in my opinion.
I agree. I like that too. Yeah. I see that very much the same. Again, I didn't see any of the card, but as you see from the image behind me, Webster Style, I know you're a fan of Ricky Starks.
Oh yeah.
I was seeing just some of the pictures online, and this picture right here. Danielson always delivers, but I feel like maybe this match, or at least I'm hoping, from just all those things I saw, that it took Ricky Starks to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah,
I believe I saw a quote where Brian said that Ricky carried him in that match.
Wow, so, that says a lot.
Yeah, that does say a lot. I hope so. This is one of those things, like I haven't seen the match, but this is one of the times I hope that you get that elevation through a loss.
Yeah.
Because that was even, we didn't do a pick show, but that was when that was announced. I'm like, that's hard to pick. Like, who's gonna win that? Like, Danielson just coming back.
Yeah.
But then Ricky's on the rise. But I told you, man, I've been a fan of Ricky since the NWA days, and I'm just waiting for them to put the title on him, like seriously, like a for real title.
Yeah.
Like him versus Moxley in his national title would be good shit. That would be that would be a good match, or a good series, like be a good feud in general. But I think in general, just looking at the card, everybody won who should have won. The Acclaim should have won. Some of these matches seem thrown together. Like we just had the Acclaim beat House of Black at All In, and then All Out, you got Gundam Singh, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett. Like, why?
Yeah.
No, I understand the history there with the tag team titles and what they went back for. But again, you threw that together in a week. Bullet Club Gold and Young Bucks and FTR. Bullet Club Gold, they were the right pick for that. They should have won. FTR and them don't need to win. Blackpool, they needed to win after they lost to All In. Takeshita beating Kenny Omega. I want to see that match. That's a match I do want to see.
So that's the match. Okay.
Because I mean, I've talked about Omega with regards to his character and how he's been portrayed in AEW. And there's just something off compared to the Kenny I saw in New Japan. But I never knock his wrestling skill and his ring acumen. And Takeshita is no slouch either. So, and especially if they are putting Takeshita over like this, I can only imagine how good that match was.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also interested in as a number two beyond, this match is I didn't hear it yet. But I saw a lot of memes, and I heard there's also a shirt, or at least I get the AEW shop emails. Good marketing. They have a shirt called Meat.
Oh,
the
with
meat slapping between Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
I heard like the entire time during the match, whenever they're like the crowd was chanting meat. Meat, because there was a lot of meat slapping. I'm curious about that match. What about you?
Yeah, I am too. I was kind of sad, not sad, but I only saw the clips online with CJ Perry coming in and that whole thing.
Oh shit! Did I miss that? I think you did bring that up earlier. I half wanted to say. So we got Lana now, aka CJ Perry, and now in AEW. Dope.
Yeah. So I'm interested with that and seeing how that storyline shakes up. But it seemed like there was a lot of mutual respect between Hobbs and Miro. So maybe we get they'll run it back. We'll get a series of matches between them. But I think it's good.
Or tag team.
Oh, that would be devastating.
What do you think about a meaty tag team?
That would be, oh my goodness.
Of Miro, man, that would be dope. I would love to see them run through some cats.
Oh. I mean, I'm thinking in my head, like they look like they would run through everybody.
Wouldn't that be dope? That would be like old school LOD.
Awesome.
Road Warriors.
The
big meaty men just destroying motherfuckers. I'd love that.
That's like a wrestling wet dream right there.
Right?
Man, that would be
nice.
Awesome, especially with Miro's mic skill.
Yes.
Yo, Tony Khan, do this.
Yes, Tony.
Look, we love the Acclaimed, even though they ain't tag champs anymore. But I'm saying, I want to see that tag team run through everybody.
Right?
Like straight up.
And I could just see the Acclaim talking about this team right before they start the match, talking shit, these meaty men talking all that mess. Right. But then these meaty men are gonna kick your ass and destroy y'all. And I love the Acclaim, but come on, Miro, let them cats run through
Redeemer. Yes,
let them destroy them all.
Awesome.
I'd love that.
That would be badass, so awesome.
Dude. I the more I think about it, I love it even more.
Yeah, I agree. It
gives me the meat sweats.
That's a name.
The meat sweats.
That's a name.
That would be dope. But I can't wait to, like, I was seeing the memes and stuff. I'm like, just hearing the crowd chanting meat, that just sounds awesome. I hope that they loved it too. Miro and Hobbs loved that. They were into it. It's love. It's a term of endearment. Meaty men going to town. We love our meaty men battling on the ring. Come on, man.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this though, and I'm going to retract some things I've said before.
Okay.
With regards to how they're handling RH. Well, I'll say partially retract. I still think RH and AEW should be separate. There is way too much cross energy, in my opinion. In my opinion, again, it's not my company. I'm not a billionaire who owns anything, so Tony Khan do what he wants. But we talked before about how having MJF and Adam Cole be RH tag champs is a good way to add more light to those titles. I don't even think about Claudio Castagnoli having the RH championship. I don't even think about him being champion at all. I just think about Blackpool Combat Club, and that's all I think about when it comes to him. So I totally forget about that. But Joe has been front and center, as he should be. He's Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that not just that, they brought Shane, like they had a ROH TV title with ROH stalwart television championship stalwart Shane Taylor. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot as a part of the All In. It's gonna be All Out, and then we got set up for MJF afterwards, which I thought was. I like the fact that, and I'm kind of jumping over to Dynamite in this case. I like that AEW is not afraid to revisit history regardless of who it is. Like, these people have history. I don't care if it was Impact, I don't care if it was WWE, I don't care if it was RH. Look, this is part of storyline, because you know what? We're going to act like our fans are wrestling fans, not AEW fans. And I appreciate that, because I can sit there and be like, yeah, I remember NXT Championship, NXT Brooklyn. And I feel like it was, I don't know, was it one of the Shinsuke matches? I don't remember. With him pushing MJF to the side as a little scrawny kid and everything, even the whole Steven Regal. Like, I appreciate that, those callbacks and that added history. We know it's scripted, we know it's fake, but it adds an air of reality to what we're seeing, which makes the drama that much more realistic. Again, we are 40-year-old men. We've been watching wrestling our whole lives. We know it's scripted.
Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't make the tension that is created in the ring any less realistic, especially when you bring in things like this.
Agreed. All right. Any more AEW thoughts, man, coming up out of All Out?
I'm good. I'm interested to see where they go with MJF and Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's long term because we still got the whole thing with Adam Cole, and we've seen seeds of that and whatnot. I'm interested in seeing where things go. I'm kind of excited Punk's gone.
Yeah, same. Because it could open up some more doors with some of the other cats out here. You know what I'm saying?
Because
I dig that too.
Especially with the whole thing with Collision and 2 shows and Punk's can't now.
And people weren't trying to go to Collision because there's animosity with Punk.
Right.
Now I think there will be more free flow.
Right. But I will say this though, and this is a downside. And this is something that I called a long time ago when they started Collision.
Okay.
I said that we will be seeing people leave or not get renewed for AEW because there's not enough TV time like it used to be. Sonny Kiss is gone. There was someone else whose contract ended just the other week or so. I mean, we're going to see wrestlers' contracts, not get renewed because they have so many people, and you really only have you have Collision, Rampage, Dynamite. Collision's 2 hours, right?
Yeah. Because it's on Saturday.
So 5 hours of TV, and then I think RA show is an hour. So you got 6 hours. But this is the thing, though. The difference between these shows and say Dark and Dark Elevation, that was just wrestling. There were it was like main events. There was just wrestling. They could jam pack 8, 9, 10. I think it was like 8, 9 matches in Dark Elevation, maybe a total of almost 20 sometimes between the two of them. That's a lot of wrestling that you do not get that many matches in all 6 hours of AEW and RA's TV combined. When you really think about it.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of space that's now gone for people. So, it's a nature of the beast. It's sad, but there's a lot of money out there. A lot of people eating and wrestling right now. And this is probably one of the few times in, our lifetime as far as wrestling is concerned where I can say if a wrestler gets released, they be all right. Like for real. Like they have a real good chance of making a decent living on the independent circle. I mean, independent scene based on the way things are. So yeah, definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing. But I don't never want to see anybody just disappear, go, especially when a company like this. It's kind of sad when people were there from the start and it's like, we don't need you no more, sort of thing. Like they believed in the vision, like Sonny Kiss, like they believed in the vision, they were there, they did everything, and then it's just like, there's no place for me now.
Yeah,
so you're not removing my contract.
Yeah,
so that kind of sucks.
Agreed.
It is business. But that's it. That's my take on AEW this week.
All right. Well, there we go, brother. Actually, you had me thinking because we talked Punk earlier. Well, there's Punk enjoying all of them, but I'm sure none of them want to deal with Punk either. But who knows? They may get that shine. And it also made me think about Matt Cardona, who I've been waiting to find out because he's a big cat. You know what I'm saying? I know he's kind of like he's the indie god. He's been like doing everything now.
Right.
So he's kind of like, and he's loving that. It feels the vibes because I follow him. I enjoy his, the action figure wrestling podcast that, all the things he's doing. So it looks like he's still thriving regardless of not being with either AEW or WWE.
I don't see him going back to, because everything else is taken off.
Yeah.
Let me phrase this. I don't see him going back to WWE since he has everything else on the side.
Yeah,
but I think
know
with
about
Triple
that
H in
his
charge,
wife's over there.
Yeah, but with Triple H in charge, there may be certain exceptions.
Yeah,
that would be because a lot of cats are doing like who is Dakota Kai and what's her name?
Tegan Knox.
What is it?
Which
Tegan?
we also haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, I thought about her the other day. No,
Io Sky.
Malachi Black's wife.
Oh, Zelina Vega.
Yeah, they starting a podcast or some sort of business or something.
They're thriving on their own in a way.
So so a lot of people are doing things outside of WWE now that they weren't allowed to before. So Cardona could come back. It'd be interesting, but I like him on the indie scene. I like what he's on. I like him popping up. He's someone who he's a major figure and he brings that wherever he goes. And I like that.
Yeah. Well, major figure podcast.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, I think he deserves his own reality show because, like, we watch his YouTube and he's got that charisma. Just like, yeah,
he does.
Matt's dope, man. Before we get up out of here, NXT, I have been tracking a little bit on that, but one of the biggest things I think I missed it. I finally watched Heat Wave. Okay. I think I'm caught up on my DVR of NXT stuff because, you know, I'm really digging what they're doing there. I think there's a lot of bright new stars out there. But what I think I missed, and maybe it was this last episode, but correct me if I'm wrong, and I think I saw the memes, but they're trying to build up our girl Tiffy Time against Becky, bro.
Yep.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, I got to talk to Webster Sal.
Yeah,
what do you think about that? And that's real. They're trying to really build this up. Is that for real?
Yeah, that's happening next week, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
How do you feel about Becky going down there? And I don't know. Why? I don't know if exactly. Becky's WWE, bro. Well, like, this is where I didn't mind Mustafa because they weren't doing shit. But, you know, certain Baron, yeah, that's fine. But not my Tiffy Time, bro. Like, no. How you feel, bro?
I have an issue with this because why are you doing this with Becky?
Yeah,
especially with it. Well, no, not even just Becky. You have a very deep women's division.
Hello.
Why are you bringing in Becky? You just had a really phenomenal number one contenders match last week before. Then you had the match this week was pretty good. You have a deep roster of women there that you can elevate and build a program with Tiffany. Why are you bringing Becky Lynch back? And I don't think that Becky's going to win. I don't think Tiffany. I think there's going to be some shenanigans. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like they're setting something up for a program with Becky where somebody else is going to interfere. That's just my opinion, because it none of this makes sense to me.
Same.
Tiff losing doesn't make sense. Becky winning doesn't make sense, in my opinion.
I'm with you 110%, bro. Like, she just came out of this whole thing with Trish. Throw another fucking storyline up over there, man. Like,
well, give her some time off. Let her stay home with the baby for a couple months. Elevate some other women and have her come back and do a Charlotte or something. I don't know.
That's what, bro. Real talk. Like, they're falling back. You know, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, to be honest, man. Like, there's so many other storylines, and just like I said, they just had this tournament. There's so many amazing women wrestlers out there. Just like, I'm upset, and I just wanted to talk to you about it because I know you feel, you know, like we both like Becky, but like main roster, you know, and we like Tiff, but like, what are they doing right now? It was like 10 steps back. Like, I don't like it at all. So upset.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree, but we'll see how it works out. You know, right now,
I hope it. Yeah. I hope there's a reason that we're gonna build up something here, but like, she doesn't need the belt. It's not making any sense. I don't like it. Anyway, bro, we went NXT. Let's cover our bases. Impact. Anything going on there? Or New Japan? Anything we want to spotlight before we get up out?
Man, Impact it escapes me at the moment.
Okay.
It really, really escapes me.
All right. Well, we won't make an impact on y'all anymore. We won't like drag it anymore. But I know I got some catching up to do. I'm really looking forward to this Ricky Starks match, the WWE tag team match, and the Trish Becky match.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see the Becky and Tiffy match happen, but they better do something with that. But yeah, CM Punk, you know, just to recap our entire episode of this KayFaby, you know, let us know in the comments where y'all think he's gonna go and what's gonna happen with that. But other than that, Webster Style, brother, always a pleasure to be a living legend with you. I know you got a lot of stuff popping off with Webster Style, your whole Sartorial and Geek podcast. Obviously, the Checkpoint. What else do we have to look forward to interview wise? I know you're dropping some gems there too.
Interviews are kind of fallow at the moment, but I will have a game bites. You'll see that over at Webster Style as well as here at Nerds Rule the World, talking about Starfield. Okay.
I like that. Actually, as of this recording, I don't know how far you are on Starfield, but right before we started recording today, one of my pals who's in my acting class is one of the voices in Starfield. And then I saw another friend online, another actor friend is also an actor in Starfield, did some voiceover work. So, yeah, kind of cool. And I know we actually had that in our latest episode of Checkpoint too, because it dropped this week as of this recording. But yeah, cool to see just all my friend vibes, my pal and you covering gaming. You just love to see it, man. So shout out to everybody. I kind of want to play Starfield right now because my boys are in it, and then just hearing all the vibes and man, being the producer doing that Checkpoint episode. Y'all go check out our Checkpoint, man. My man Brian Sapp, my man Webster Style. It looks like a cool game. And knowing friends are on it as well. But anyway, it's wrestling talk here. We're getting up out of here. Webster Style, how can the people follow you, living legend, you?
Right. Okay. It was always weird. Find me on TikTok _Webster Style, Instagram Webster Style, Sartorial Geek, and Twitter, X, whatever Elon wants to call it this week, Webster Style as well. And anything and everything that is Webster Style can be found at websterstyle.com.
There you go. Show love to the homie. And if you want to talk meaty men, the meat slapping, getting Miro and Hobbs together, which I think would be the ultimate tag team, I'm ready to get on that bandwagon because I think that would be awesome. Reach out to me at the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, Blue Sky, and of course here with Webster Style, Brian Saff, Sean Mongold, Glenn Lawrence, Heather, the whole squad at the NRW and Analyst Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. That has been another KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast, and we are out of here in a 1, 2, 3. Peace, y'all.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you. Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring. I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass. And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no, that fits right.
Corey boy, I'm coming hard.